All right, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic. So I've got your resume in front of me, and you and I have chatted. We've come together a couple of times now in regards to your background, your experience, and what you're looking to do next. And what I love beyond your experience is your drive and what you are really looking to do for future endeavors. And I've just have been really impressed with you thus far. So, in order to know where you're going, we got to know where you've been. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing most recently for work?
Most recently for work, well, my current occupation would be warehouse work, so shipping and distribution. It would be auditing, packaging, paying attention to packaging details, as well as shipping out with correlating shipping departments, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, yeah, shipping companies. That would be it.
Fantastic. And you've been with Janus since 2017, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. What would you say is one of the biggest struggles in that role?
The biggest struggles, I would say, if you are not used to adapting to an ever-changing environment, efficiency is definitely something that's really, really, really important. You definitely learn to kind of go with the flow, but the flow is always fluctuating. So you don't know if you're going to
Absolutely.
have like a really rapid day of working. You don't know what kind of changes are going to be put in place, what kind of policies are going to be shifting. And it's really important to be as mindful as possible of time management under those time constraints that are now added.
Fantastic. Now, in that position, because even though it was based in the warehouse, there was a lot of data entry style work and a lot of attention detail and a lot of
Mhm.
working with your reporting and lining things up. What would you say is one of the biggest strengths that you learned while being in that position?
I would definitely, this is going to sound kind of redundant, but with that being said, you definitely do learn to adapt to an environment that's constantly shifting. And I think that picking things up and implementing them with immediacy and with a sense of urgency is incredibly important because you want to pay attention to what you're representing within the company for a consumer's sake. So if I'm putting something out there, I want to make sure that people are getting their money's worth. I want to make sure that it doesn't look like I just threw a bunch of stuff in a box because that's not what it is. Like some people are depending on this for their health or whatever the case may be. So it
Yep.
is really important to have a good compromise between efficiency, yes, but also paying attention to the person who's receiving it.
I love that. That's a great answer. As in, I don't think I've ever heard that type of answer when I've asked that question. So I'm very impressed by that. What are your biggest strengths when it comes to computer software? What programs do you feel most proficient on at this stage in your career?
Proficiency, I would say I genuinely do love words. So I would say Word for sure. If I had to draft a document explaining something or expressing something and I had to be fair to multiple parties, I definitely do feel the most proficient in Word as well as in Excel. I
Great.
think anything that involves data analysis or data input, I tend to be stronger in those pursuits.
Now, given your background and your experience, because we're looking to truly get out of the warehouse, right? You picked up a lot of really great things. You're when I first met you, when I say met you, when we were first chatting on the phone, my first thought was, why has she been in the warehouse all these years? Because I felt like it was such a not putting your talent where it will best be used type of situation. But I do love the things that you gained, like you mentioned, how to pivot, how to work with efficiency and strong attention to detail and the data entry side of things. But what do you see yourself doing next from a next opportunity standpoint? What are you looking for next?
The next opportunity that I would definitely be looking forward to would be something that allows for me to honestly have human connection. I love different personalities and I thrive during interpersonal communication. I definitely love making sure that people feel comfortable, that people feel adequate, that people feel heard and seen as well. I like to bring a sense of vibrance, especially into any environment, and whether or not it's kind of more dim and you're used to like the same faces every day, but definitely something that allows for me to be as open and also vulnerable and as human as possible with other people.
Yep, absolutely. Now, is there any particular industries that stand out to you more than others that you would be interested in working in? Or are you pretty open at this point?
Right now I'm pretty open. I would like to be as expansive as possible and I would like to be as open-minded as possible because I want to see where it is that a personality where my personality, and especially for the endeavors that I have in the future, things that I'm building up the courage to, or building up like I want to know where my responsibility is. I don't want to know where it is that I need to grow.
Fantastic. What would you say is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
What is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
The most important thing to me would be the maturity that's around me. I think it's really important to be mindful of, if I'm going to be spending my time with these people and I have a sense of respect for you, I think it is very important to be mindful of the environment that you're in, that it's uplifting, and something that definitely obviously pushes me to be a better version of myself, but in the healthiest way possible.
Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and chat with you a little bit more if that sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.